Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I am Carrie Lee, an assistant professor at the Department of Social Work and Social Administration. So I feel excited about sharing my research with you all. So my research centers around interpartner violence and patriarchy across cultural contexts. So interpartner violence, or I would call it IPV, is actually highly prevalent across the world. So here is the statistics provided by a World Health Organization. And they found that 1 in 3 women would experience at least once IPV in their lifetime. So here we are talking about IPV used by men against women. So some of you may be thinking, so what about the IPV used by women against men? So actually, men are also victims of IPV. But unfortunately, the estimates of the prevalence rate across the world in the literature are very limited. So most of the research on IPV are conducted in the US, United States. So the US National Interpartner and Sexual Violence Survey, they found that the prevalence rate of IPV against men is also 1 in 3 men. So what these statistics mean is that if you think of us sitting in this room, about 30 of us, so it means that 1/3 of us would experience IPV in our lifetime. So I think that's quite alarming. And if we look at this world map closely, some of you may notice that the IPV prevalence rate actually varies across countries and nations. So from here, we can see that the highest prevalence rate is in the Southeast Asia region, which is 37.7%, and then followed by Eastern Mediterranean region and the African region. So when I look at this world map, I started to think, so why do the prevalence rate varies across nations and countries? And what could be the etiology and the mechanism of IPV? So this is the first research paper I'm going to share with you today. So in speaking of the etiology and mechanism of IPV, I used a theory. It's called social structure and social learning theory. So it is actually one of the most well-tested and well-known criminological theories. So this research was published in 2022 in Journal of Interpersonal Violence. So let me explain to you the conceptual and the theoretical framework discussed in this research paper. So here is the theoretical model of the theory. So as you may notice, this theory is actually a multi-level integrated theory. So what it means is that it links the social structural level to the individual level involvement in crime and criminal behaviors through this process. It's called social learning process. So at the structural level here, I have the gender equality. And gender equality here is measured by different indicators and different aspects, such as the employment rate between the men and women, the education level, the survival rate, and political participation. So in order to test the theory and to gain a better understanding of the etiology of IPV, I combined several international data sets together. So here I have the data set which it has more than 17,000 participants. And here is the result. So I did a multi-level mediation model. And I found that definitions favorable to IPV, which is one of the components in the social learning process, it partially mediates the impact of gender equality on IPV. So what it means is that gender equality does not only have some direct effect on IPV, it also has some indirect effect on IPV through these social learning process, which is the definitions favorable to IPV. So these findings actually provide limited support to the theory, because the theory would expect that the mediator the social learning process would fully mediate the whole process. But here, the findings only partially support the theory. So the findings implies that gender equality does not always has its influence on IPV through the social learning process. Okay, so at this point, we know that gender equality and patriarchal social structure have influences on IPV. So I was really interested in looking at how IPV manifests itself in patriarchal societies. So therefore, I expand my research to Chinese society, which we all know is like a highly patriarchal societies. So I think the Chinese context provide an excellent context to allow me to examine more about how IPV manifests itself in patriarchal cultural context. So here is another research paper that I want to share with you today. So in this research, I was really interested in looking at how women's employment and how women's income, as they increase, can they protect women from experiencing IPV? And I was wondering how Chinese men would use different IPV tactics and how IPV manifests itself in this cultural context. So here we have 600 Chinese women and we surveyed them. And interestingly and unfortunately, what we found is that Chinese women's IPV victimization actually increases as their financial independence increase. So this is not what we expected. So here the findings suggest that the financial independence and financial status actually backfire. And we think that it's possible that as women they have higher income and as they have employment, that may actually threaten men's traditional breadwinner role in the household, and that would challenge their masculinity. And on the other hand, as women have more financial resources, they may request for more decision-making power within the household. So then it means that the men may want to use the IPV to reinstate their power and control within the family and within the relationship. Okay, so at this point, some of you may be wondering, okay, so maybe separation or breaking up with your inter-partners may solve the problem, may end the violence, and you may go back to a happy and normal life, right? Okay, so here then I have the final piece of research that I'm going to share with you today is that we did a qualitative study on U.S. Women. So these women, they just gone through divorce and child custody process in the family court. So we were interested in understanding their IPV experiences both before and after separation. So what we found is that we identified 3 types of women. So the first type is it's called the escalation type. So here I'm showing you the most representative cases among the women to illustrate the type. So here the first type is the escalation. So you can see that before separation, the women experience only one type of IPV. But after separation, the IPV escalated severely, okay? So you can see she experienced more types of IPV after separation. Another type is called persistence. So it means that IPV persists both before and after separation for this woman. And the third type is called displacement. So before separation, this woman experienced a lot of different types of IPV, but after separation, she only experienced stalking. And interestingly, stalking is the type of IPV that we observe. It only happened after separation. perhaps after separation, there is less physical contact between the men and women. So the man had to use stalking to continue his IPV on those women. So here, and actually if you look at this one, persistent, you can see again, stalking happens after separation, okay? Stalking as in using the electronic devices or going to the women's home or workplace to stalk her. So consistent with the literature, what we found on the patterns of IPV after separation, so we think that separation itself may even challenge their male superiority. So after separation, men may feel the need to reassert their dominance and control over women to regain their authority, and for some of them, they even want to retaliate for the separation. So to conclude my research I shared with you today, we could see that it's clear that IPV manifests itself differently across different cultural contexts. And no matter how IPV manifests itself, we can see that clearly IPV is rooted in patriarchal systems and ideology. So here is some of my future direction, and actually here are some of the work that I'm already working on. So I'm currently expanding my research to the Hong Kong local context, and in future I hope to expand my research to other cultural contexts to see how IPV manifests itself differently in different cultural contexts. So currently, I'm also looking at precursors of IPV, such as the adverse childhood experiences, because we know that adverse childhood experiences is also more severe under patriarchal cultural context because of the hierarchical family structure. And currently, I'm also developing interventions for survivors of IPV and other interpersonal trauma. And last but not least, I want to thank my participants for sharing their stories to me and their lived experiences to me. I know it's not easy to talk about those experiences. And I also want to thank my research collaborators and community collaborators in supporting me in carrying out these meaningful projects. So thank you so much for your listening. And if you're interested in my publications, I'm more than happy to send them to you. And I'm also very open to any potential research collaborations. Thank you so much.